This house, chosen randomly, held secrets it never should have. What was intended as a mere burglary spiraled into a descent into hell, a tale of unintended consequences where a break-in transformed into a scene from the darkest nightmares. The emotionless visage of Matthew Hoffman gave away nothing as he uttered the word yes, sealing his fate. The interior of Hoffman's home was a scene straight from a harrowing nightmare. As the front door creaked open, the first thing to greet one's eyes were the heaps of leaves piled everywhere. It looked as though autumn had invaded the confines of the house and refused to leave. The living room was practically suffocating under the weight of the gathered leaves. The bathroom was no different. Over 100 bags of dried leaves lined the walls, as if in preparation for some sinister ritual. The freezer painted an equally morbid picture. Amidst the cold and darkness, 2 lifeless squirrels lay frozen, their tiny eyes glazed over, with only the company of a couple of red popsicles. 2 brave officers from Mount Vernon stepped into this house of horrors in 2010. With every step, leaves crunched underfoot. The sheer volume of them raised chilling questions. Were their bodies concealed beneath this leafy carpet? The police, with their senses on high alert, moved cautiously. Their minds raced with disturbing possibilities. They soon made a discovery that would send shivers down anyone's spine. Hidden in the gloomy basement, beneath an eerie canopy of dim lights, lay the 13-year-old daughter of Tina Hermann. She was bound, helpless, on a bed made entirely of leaves. This was the bed Hoffman had spoken of with a twisted sense of pride, saying that even he had been tempted to sleep on it due to its deceptive comfort. The tragic girl had been exposed to further acts of cruelty while in captivity. She'd been handed the classic novel Treasure Island as a cruel form of entertainment and had even been made to watch Iron Man with her tormentor. More heart-wrenching was her attire, a pathetic makeshift diaper crafted from a white plastic bag. Upon her liberation, in a heartbreaking display of innocence, the girl wondered if she was late for school, even while unaware of the grim fate her family had met at the hands of her captor. Hoffman's bizarre fixation with leaves wasn't lost on the community. Forensic psychologists identified this fixation as a manifestation of deep-seated mental illness, a deviation from even the most notorious serial killers. "It's a unique delusion rooted in nature," observed Dr. James Allen Fox. The neighbor's comments on his behavior painted a picture of a man entirely consumed by his obsessions. One particularly haunting revelation from the case documents was that it was a nightmarish vision, a dream of a food processing plant filled with dismembered body parts that finally prompted Hoffman's confession. The grim tale comes to a close with the morbid image of Hoffman's leaf-strewn residence awaiting foreclosure. But the scars of the events that transpired there will remain indelible in the memories of the Mount Vernon community. As dawn approached, casting an ashen light, Hoffman's patience bore fruit. By 9 a.m., he glimpsed Herman's silhouette departing. Like a ghostly wraith, he slinked across the road, slipping undetected under the half-closed garage door. His intentions were allegedly simple theft, lured by the thrill of trespassing. Yet the macabre dance of fate spiraled into horror as Hoffman, a former convict without purpose, violently extinguished the lives of Herman, her young son Cody, and Stephanie Sprang, a close friend. The sinister tale twisted further. A 13-year-old girl abducted, violated, and trapped in a prolonged nightmare until law enforcers' relentless pursuit brought her salvation days later. Hoffman's sinister plan reached its climax when he guided investigators to a colossal 60-foot hollow tree in the shadowy Kokosing wildlife area. In a nightmarish revelation, they uncovered the disfigured remains of the victims and a pet dog, hidden as if in a grim fairy tale. This monstrous individual, with a perverse fixation on nature, chillingly described how he manipulated his climbing equipment to deposit the lifeless bodies into the tree's gaping maw. However, his self-portrayal was of a twisted benefactor, providing the captive girl with distractions and false promises of release, even as he ensnared her in a prison of leaves and darkness. Detective Craig Feeney and his partner stormed the house, their shadows stretching menacingly over the fog of smoke. Amidst the chaos, an odd silhouette on the couch caught our attention, recalled Feeney, the edges of his memory tinted with a malevolent chill. With swift force, they yanked the shadowed figure, Hoffman, from the couch. The terror in his eyes seemed fleeting when he asked, "What's happening?" Feeney rasped. "You tell me!" I fired back, but the walls swallowed his voice. He wasn't speaking anymore. As the grim reality of Hoffman's heinous crimes became apparent, the days leading up to the moment played out like a malevolent ballet. The gruesome murders of Tina Herman, her young son Cody, and her close friend Stephanie Sprang. The sinister abduction and assault of a young girl. Amid the shadows of doubt and horror, Detective Feeney questioned Hoffman's motivations and sinister planning. Were the leaves just kindling for a greater, more monstrous plan? Could they serve as the accelerant for a fire Hoffman intended to set, erasing all evidence of his demonic deeds? The twisted tapestry of Hoffman's life unveiled more dark corners. Doodles reminiscent of a teenage girl's dreams adorned walls, juxtaposing eerily with the sinister design of the house. Every scribble seemed to echo the captive girl's desperate pleas, her haunting presence in this house of horrors. With Hoffman's past marred by arson, crime, and betrayal, his insidious intent at Herman's house became clear. Yet fate intervened, derailing his sinister plans when a deputy's simple inquiry connected the dots, tying him to the terrified girl left imprisoned amidst leaves. Hoffman was sentenced today to life imprisonment, his punishment for the gruesome dismemberment murders of Tina Herman, her young son Cody Maynard, and family acquaintance Stephanie Sprang. The court heard chilling details of how Hoffman, a once jobless tree trimmer, hid the remains of the victims within the dark hollows of a towering beech tree.